The topic of my course paper is effective online classroom management techniques. And at first, I would like to define the notion of online classroom. Online classroom is a virtual space, a particular web platform where classes are held online with the urge for a stable internet connection for all their participants. And there are two types of online learning. Synchronous learning means that the classes perform in real time with all the members participating simultaneously, while asynchronous learning means that students study at any time that is convenient for them, not depending on a particular timetable or curriculum. I am convinced that asynchronous type of online learning is the most relevant to what we know to be a traditional classroom, so I mainly focused on this type of e-learning because it is more likely to be an analog to the face-to-face classroom. According to Jonathan Finkelstein, virtual synchronous classroom systems are characterized by the following features: real-time voice and visual contact between all participants, shared whiteboard, integrated area for the projection of slides or other visuals, capacity for text-based interaction including side conversations or note taking, means for learners to indicate that they have questions or are confused, or tools for assessing current moods, opinions, and comprehension, as well as for soliciting questions or feedback, and the ability to gauge visual body language or a sense of how engaged learners are in the activity at hand. There are both advantages and disadvantages of the synchronous learning. Advantages are the following: convenience and flexibility, affordability, social pressure and material inequality reduction, student-centered learning environment, and full involvement. While disadvantages are harmful impact on health, shifted reality, sense of social isolation, assessment issues, and lack of practice. According to Carly Jackson Harding, classroom management success depends on discipline, as a teacher should be ready to be responsible for classroom control, system because it's impossible not to plan the classroom management, and can success because it must be structured and systematic, and instruction the teacher guides the students in the right direction and establish a peaceful atmosphere in the classroom, enabling everyone to reach their potential. And now there are some strategies for effective online classroom management. So, these are: to establish ground rules, to respond to messages and manage chats, to maximize interactivity, to keep tuned into the participants, to offer prompt feedback, to apply collaborative work, then to reward the learners, to assess online, and to record the class. And next comes the very important issue of sense of presence, or in other words, the feeling of being right here at this very moment. And there are three types of sense of presence in the online classroom. The first one is cognitive presence, students' intellectual response to what proceeds in the classroom. Social presence, students' emotional response, how do they feel in the classroom with the other participants. And teaching or instructor presence, the teacher is not the center of the silent course, but a soul and a linking element whose presence is what is crucial for students' sense of presence. And now there are some strategies how to reach this sense of presence and minimize the lack of interaction in the virtual space. Using facial stickers or emojis, inviting the students by their first names, employing breakout rooms, adding some jokes or additional intervening information, setting interesting up-to-date topics of discussion, asking students to comment or to write a review for their peers' work, experimenting with different types of discussion, and immediate feedback and students' questions answering. So, online classroom design is a very complicated topic sometimes, but it is essential to incorporate the culturally responsive teacher into the online learning environment to create a healthy atmosphere in the group, as the culturally responsive teaching rests on an equity pedagogy designed to rectify educational conditions that have fallen short of facilitating the learning of many students from racially, culturally, and economically culturally diverse groups. Online classroom discipline. It is essential to give students the understanding that online classes are as important as traditional ones. There are no excuse for skipping them or ignoring the following rules, which I offer teachers to provide their students with. Be always on time. Put the camera on, but keep the microphone muted unless when asked to talk. Use the chat properly. Respect the teacher and the peers. Once having a question, type the icon or button, raise your hand, or in the chat. Stay seated at one place and choose appropriate clothing. Do not get distracted by anything and do not eat food. However, drinking water is not forbidden. Do not cheat during the assessments and conduct it with the cameras on. When skipping more than one class, the parents must contact the teacher and prove that they are aware of the impossibility of their children not being presented. And now, when we have succeeded with online classroom discipline and design, here are some strategies to encourage students online. Reaching the sense of presence, discipline, deviations, prevention, proper beginning and ending as the proper beginning and set the expectation for the upcoming class and ending select all the knowledge gained during this class, experimentation with icebreakers, engaging activities during the class, clear instructions and easy navigation and simulated questions which boost the students' critical thinking. And now educational platforms used in the online learning environment. Video conferencing tools are the most convenient and productive for conducting real-time lessons, as they offer for free or for some extra cost the set of such needed options, like the possibility to maintain video and audio, share screen, writing on the virtual blackboard, test participants into small groups, and the possibility to raise a hand and emojis, type in the chat as well as save lessons recordings. And the following five video conferencing tools are quite popular and convenient to use. These are Zoom, Google Meet, Click Meeting, Google Meet, and Microsoft Teams. Then I find gamification strategy to be very productive in terms of online learning, and in educational context, it tends to look at learners' motivation, motivational learning behavior, or engagement in activities. And for instance, I Spy game reduces the tension between participants. Truth or lie puts students closer and boosts critical thinking, and Spider helps students to remember vocabulary. However, such websites and applications as Notepen's Classroom Screen, PowerPoint, Games, Kahoot, Flippity, Quizlet, and Quizzes offer a variety of student-oriented presentations, games, and activities, as you can see here on the screen, quizzes and PowerPoint examples. And finally, the effectiveness of teaching approaches in the online classroom. To begin with, I would like to mention that for online learning, instructions are very important, and instructional approach is founded on the idea that proper instructions might ensure effective classroom management, prevent misbehavior, and make the planned objectives and the learning outcomes meet. Indirect instruction strategy employs questioning divergent questions that imply no particular answer, while interactive instruction strategy employs various types of discussion. Then comes collaborative approach, and it's an instruction method in which learners of various performance levels work together in small groups towards a common goal. And such collaborative strategies as jigsaw and share and role-playing activities contribute very much to the collaborative approach. Finally, social-emotional climate approach is based on the idea that the welcoming and conducive setting in an educational institution fosters both students' academic success and then teachers' productivity, and is achievable with the help of those strategies. Using pupils' names, constant support, showing students that teachers are humans, communication outside the synchronous classes, and silent student involvement. So, to conclude all the materials I used in my course paper, there is no certain way to manage a virtual classroom. Successful management appears when a lot of factors such as a sense of presence and belonging, culturally responsive setting, reasonable application of collaborative work, get attention to individual peculiarities of each student, are interwoven with logically chosen teaching approach or a mix of those. Thank you very much for your attention.